going to find himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Newhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
And I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately, isn't it? What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Typical, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolute serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah. And
It's all about the entertainment.
so I hope
So
everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself
Oh,
watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
coming down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Look at Tyson! They haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still slot chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it! Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome along to the Triple Bypass Thumbsticks 35, sponsored by Tyler Merritt, and we're at round 3 here from Watkins Glen Short Track NASCAR Circuit here as well. And I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Ewan O'Leary here this evening as well. Don't forget, guys, the Triple Bypass Racing League do 5 nights of racing. Sundays they do Gen 4, Tuesdays late models, Wednesdays road racing, Thursdays is the Xfinity, which is what we're on here this evening, and the Friday is the multi-class with the GTP and GT3 Championship. Today is sponsored by number 38, Tyler Merritt here as well. And if you're wondering where the name the Thumbsticks 35 come from, it happened in a broadcast a few weeks ago where basically Tyler drives on a controller. He is a controller driver, so they nicknamed him Thumbsticks, and then he came out and sponsored this evening's race. Scores on the doors currently after 2 races here as well. Justin Bentley is out in front on 43 points with Chad Bear on 41. Sean Bradley on 37, Jared Jackson on 36, tied with Tyler Merritt. Brad Kress in 6th on 33, and then we've got Nick Howder, Ben Harcum also on 33, Keith Hanlon and Morris Bogan on 32, and then Kyler Dewey on 18 points there as well. Let's welcome in Mr. Ewan O'Leary as we have just gone in to qualifying here as well. Ewan, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Looking forward to road course racing here in the Xfinity Series. As mentioned, this is the only road course race we've got all season long. Already been to Charlotte and Bristol season, but this is the only road course that we're going to be taking on. We're, as I say, doing all different types of ovals, but Watkins Glen, 35 laps of racing here tonight. Should be a good one at this traditional NASCAR layout.
Yeah, it should be as well. I've got to be honest. I have never, ever been a lover of NASCAR on road circuits. It just doesn't go together for me. It reminds me of, you know, Marmite and jam, putting them in the same piece of bread. It just doesn't mix. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't work. What about you with NASCARs on road circuits? Are you a minder? Are you not a minder? What's the situation for you?
Firstly, is Marmite a worldwide thing?
Oh, I don't know. It's like Vegemite, isn't it? They call it somewhere else, isn't it? Well, all right then. Let's just say like chocolate spread and peanut butter. You know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah. Although I'd never tried that either.
Oh,
that would kill me.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm deranging your analogies already. What was? Oh yeah, Watkins Glen. Yeah, I can't even remember. Road course racing, yeah, I mean, sometimes it works. I think around here it does. I don't mind it around here, Watkins Glen, because of the cup layout that we've got. Generally, as a general rule, does it really work? I think at some circuits, you're right, I do have reservations about it. But, yeah, if it was up to me, I would go back to the old NASCAR schedule of having Watkins Glen and Sonoma as the 2 road course races, and then the other 34 races a year in the Cup Series would be ovals if it was up to me. But that's the change in NASCAR. They're trying to somewhat rid of the stereotype that it's only about turning left and it's only about ovals. They're going to a lot more road courses these days. It's included some very interesting circuits like the Daytona road course, for example, Circuit of the Americas, 2 in the recent past, the new Chicago street course as well. So a recurring theme, and it's only going to be increasing by the looks of things. So I don't mind it around here at Watkins Glen, but I can certainly see why people are not so keen on road course racing in stock cars.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to work. Do you know what I mean? It's just like COTA. right? They go to Kota, and the last race I watched from Kota, literally, track limits wasn't even a thing. It was just irrelevant.
That's true.
Yeah. There was any bit of tarmac, whether it's inside or outside the curb, was raceable, and it just, you just sit back and you just think it just didn't make sense to have it there. It was slow. It was. We all associate NASCAR, as you say, going left, full pelt, hard racing on an oval, mixing it up, not pottering around Kota and just being like, yeah, we'll just take any bit of the road possible. If you're going to road race, at least bring in, road race rules where you off tracks count and don't go too. They were literally driving a Kota that was just any bit of tarmac. It wasn't even up. It wasn't even inside the curbs. It was ridiculous. And I just think that, like the Chicago street circuit, that is just awful. That whole circuit, that makeup is just two squares joined by two lines. It is an atrocious circuit. And I think trying to incorporate all of these street circuits or track circuits into a primarily left turn oval category of racing, it just it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's just not good. I'm sorry, it's just not good. I don't like it.
Oh, I mean, this is a traditional sort of circuit, though, for the NASCAR schedule to be on. It's been here for over 30 years. In fact, I don't know the last time, maybe during COVID, it might have missed a year. But generally, Glen has been on the menu for NASCAR series for quite some time. And so, I'm not averse to this circuit at all. The NASCARs especially. I think it's sort of simplistic in a way. I mean, it's tricky up the hill, of course, through 2, 3 and 4, while in other cars normally flat out. The inner loop, of course, but most of the corners, 1, 5, 6, 7, the flowing turns and braking zones, of course, because these cars are so heavy, and in relative terms, and so it's a good circuit traditionally for stock car racing. It's one that a lot of these drivers will have experience on, and as you can see already in qualifying here, it's one that, even despite its short nature, just under 1 minute 15s around here, means that we are going to get some pretty big gaps between the drivers at this stage, even in qualifying, and then especially in the race as well. I remember doing Gen 4 race at Watkins Glen. It would have been a couple of seasons ago probably, in the Triple Bypass Racing League, and it was hard work. I can't remember where I finished, but I was very nearly a lap down, and I wasn't that far out. I was about 5th or 6th or something. I remember being. I was very close to a top 5. I was nearly off the lead lap. That just shows you the sort of gaps that you're going to see around here, and I'm sure it's going to be the same here, although it's a slightly shorter race.
Yeah, we've got 35 laps here for these drivers to contend with as well. We are into qualifying. We're on board with Keith Hanlon here, who's going up through into the bus stop chicane here as well. As you can see, trundling in there. It just, I don't know. It doesn't feel cricket. Let's just put it that way. But at the end of the day, as you say, they've been coming here for a long old time, and it must be something that the drivers don't mind doing. I suppose it must be a change from just turning left at some points. But for me, no, please, don't do it. I'm, not fans of this one. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. These drivers have got to contend with this as well. They've got 35 laps, minute 13 a lap. The only good thing for us in Watkins Glen as such is the cautions will be minimal, if any, to be fair, when it comes to the incidents and accidents.
There won't be cautions for stuff, so it's going to keep the race flowing nicely, and it is going to, as I say, keep the gaps very large at the end of the day here. That's what we're expecting to see anyway for the course of the race. By the way, I don't think Keith Hanlon's going at full pace here by any means. Especially up the hill there, wasn't quite as close to the wall as maybe you'd expect to be. Not using all the road on the way in to the inner loop, for example. So just clearly getting a feel for a few different lines out there at the moment. And by the way, just to actually give you an actual fact as to how long they've been coming in. Apart from the COVID years, which I'm not going to count as misses because that probably wasn't in their control, every year since 1986, there has been a Cup Series race here. There were 3 before then, but it was pretty sporadic. Every year since 1986, and this layout broadly has been used. They added the inner loop in the early 90s, but this is the layout that we've had quite some time now.
Oh, well, there you go. They can't be that bored of it then, can they? Let's be real here. So, yep. All good here as well. Right, qualifying has come to the end. We can bring you up the grid here this evening as well. And let's have a look at the grid. It's going to be Carl Gretsch on pole position with Chad Bear in second place. Justin Haslett in third with Brad Kress in fourth. Sean Bradley in fifth with Ben Harkham in sixth. Then we've got Mark Herzog seventh. John Campbell eighth. Al Corey ninth. Matt Harmon 10th. And then we've got Jason Benson in 11th with Will Jester. Then Brian Cooper, Jaden Henry, Keith Hanlon, John Crutchley, Aston Rice, James Lawson, Ward Fisher and Grant Parker are the 20 here as well on the track, ready to go. 20 drivers going round, and it's going to be led with Carl Gretsch out in front in his version of the Mellow Yellow machine. That if you haven't seen Days of Thunder, that's roughly where it is from as well. We will, however, show you the back end of that machine, where there is something quite amusing on the back end that I was told about a little bit earlier on as well. Matt Perezzini in YouTube chat. Hello, fellas. Let's see what kind of trouble I can get into tonight. Local cautions only, it should be. Yes, Matt, if you stop naming the drivers and giving them nicknames like you did with Al Killer Corey as well, you probably shouldn't get yourself involved. But also, Matt, as well, I'm aware you have a nickname of Matt P. Diddy Perezzini. So, you know, all in all there, buddy, it seems like you lot are just naming each other here as well. Right, so let's get this up and running. The pace car is on track at the moment here, and we will be looking at getting this racing up and running. Carl Gretsch is now effectively the lead car here as we start off with this green here this evening for the Thumbsticks 35, live from Watkins Glen. And it is Carl Gretsch and Chad Bear battling away as they go down into turn one, with Justin Haslett sitting in third place there as well. Even Al Corey and Brian Cooper further back. Everybody seems to have made it through turn one, but this is the one running up through the S's now here, Ewan, as well. What is going to happen here?
The big slide for the 91 of Bear on the way through turn two there. It was right in the wheel tracks of Gretsch in the lead, and just had a huge wiggle. Good save on the way up the hill, and it looks like everybody's gotten away cleanly. For whatever reason, a few of the drivers at the very back of the field weren't quite formed up in time, so they're a little bit strung off the back, but it's helped to keep this start clean, and hopefully everyone's got through the first sector okay.
Yeah, they have here as well, led by Carl Gretsch as we're coming round now into the penultimate corner. There was a slide here.
Yes.
Cress.
Oh, and the Benson as well. Benson has gone off the road as well with the very same turn. You can see how difficult it is getting on the power out the out loop there. Brad Kress finding the wall. Jason Benson almost does exactly the same thing. Does he get collected here? Job by everyone to avoid, but that's bigger damage for 42.
Yeah, Benson and Cress there having not so much fun on the coming through the inner loop here before they go round into the penultimate corner here as well out this Watkins Glen NASCAR circuit. But at the moment, Jack Griesick out in front with Bear, with Haslett, and then we've got Bradley behind. Harkham is into the pits, or is he? No, he's just having a moment. Ward Fisher, I think, has had a moment at the back.
Yeah, it was the 084. In a bizarre position as we saw it there. Be interesting to see what happened, because it was sort of back across the road in a weird way. And he's entirely on his own as well. Here in towards turn one, so this could be pretty interesting. Let's see. Just loses the front, the rear end, sorry, on turn in here, and once again everyone else having to avoid, and they do manage to avoid. Spinning car out of turn one, so no contact with, no car on car contact so far. Just a couple of guys in the wall and a couple of spins.
Yeah, it seems to be the masters of their own destiny, aren't they, at the moment with this as well, unfortunately for Fisher, Benson there as well, and Cress. Benson jumped straight back to the pits. I'm really not surprised considering how hard he actually hit that wall going around the inner loop, of course, here as well. So let's see what this can be done on lap 3 of 35. There was another slide by Bear coming up through the start of the S's there as well. Justin Haslett looking at making the move on the inside. Are they going to work on getting both of these machines side by side through the bus stop, or are they not here? I don't think they're going to this time here, Ewan, but they're definitely a dangerous area, isn't it? Side by side up into the bus stop is never a good idea.
It's really a good idea, and it's what we're going to see later on in the race. Are we going to see someone brave it on the inside there? Be interesting to find out, because Brian Cooper has been overtaken a couple of times here for whatever reason up the hill by Handlin and Rice. Oh, and he's gone for a spin as well in the 96. You can see it through the bus stop chicane, the inner loop, going for a loop himself actually, and he'll get back going again. Or will he?
No, he looked like he was
down the wall as well.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing when you're trying to turn a car like this, isn't it? It's not an F1 car. You know, you can't just put full throttle and hope for the best here, because it doesn't always work. And at the end of the day, these things are heavy. They are built like buses. They are literally like bricks on wheels as well. And they're going to be very complicated. They've just got full power through them. And that's probably where we've seen Fisher make a move. Benson, you know, Kress, all making mistakes, because it is just a lot of power through the right, you know, through the right foot here.
It is. It's very difficult to deal with, and that's half the challenge with these. I noted that while I was in the Gen 4 race about 6 months ago, as I mentioned earlier. I know these cars are maybe slightly better on the power than those, but you know, you wouldn't get to full throttle right the way from lifting off for the braking zone at turn 1. You wouldn't get to full throttle until about maybe now out of turn 4. Maybe just as you're going straight, you wouldn't even get to full throttle between 1 and 2. That's how difficult these stock cars are to sort of get the power down. I'm not sure whether these Xfinity cars slightly easier, maybe get the power down and get to full throttle. That was the problem. You've got to sort of squeeze it on, and you very rarely get to full throttle in these cars. That's what makes it so difficult, but such a great challenge to contend with. And it needs to be at least part of every season, as Hanlon goes for stoppage through the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, I think he just ran in. He just went too far and just didn't hold it as well. You know, you're talking with cars along these that they've got literally between 650 and 700 horsepower that you're going to be whizzing through your right foot. It's so difficult to get that right, especially as this race goes on, with the fact of tyres as well. What's the tyre situation going to be for these? Are they going to be able to maintain the tyres till the end? Are they going to need to make a pit stop? It's all going to be within that mantra of road racing that not everybody is capable of doing.
It's a very different skill set to oval racing, and you know, a lot of these drivers, of course, but some of them are rookies in terms of the road rating that they've got, because it's based on the road, obviously, license rather than their oval license, which they may be a bit better at. You know, the likes of Matt Harmon, Al Corey, John Crutchley and James Lawson, all in the rookie road license, and that just shows, you know, it's a very different skill set, and some of these drivers just won't have it at all. I guess it is notable that those inside the top 7 have all got an A or B license, which I guess says a lot about the sort of standard of those drivers, and that explains some of the gaps that we're seeing at the moment. Those top 7 are covered by 11 seconds. Next 11 seconds only takes you down the next 3 cars. So that shows really what the sort of level is here and who we've got on the track in terms of ability. It's very different to oval racing.
Yeah, here, Matt has put in YouTube chat, actually, he just said, I know the guys were complaining in practice, the track, in practice, track and is a lot slicker than normal, so I'm not surprised to see extra spins here tonight as well. Maybe that is one of the situations that they're having trouble with. You know, 38 degrees centigrade on the track temperature, 27 air. Is that going to be lending to the situation? Do we think that's why they're all going round, unfortunately? You know, it looks like Keith Hanlon might have had another moment here as well, and some drivers are just struggling. But as you can see, guys, as well, on the back end of Carl Gretsch's car, he did message me earlier on and just say, there you go, mate, I'm going to put Ben Arkham's face all over the back of Carl Gretsch's car there as well as we come down into turn 1. So Ben Arkham, you are now famous. You are on a car of the back end of Carl Gretsch there as well. So that is Ben Harcombe, of course, 5th place man here, driving around for, sitting in 5th place, up 1 place here as well, and just literally going around all on his own. There's a lot of cars, as we did say at the beginning here, Ewan, spread out across the track. You can see them from literally start to finish, with these guys coming through the bus stop, and the 19th place man, which is Keith Hanlon, just going down into the penultimate corner.
Yeah. So the field already spread out, and traffic's going to be a big problem for these drivers today. I reckon they could be lapping some of these drivers, 3 times, maybe more. There's problems. And look at the chat wrap on the top right-hand side of your screen. It's pretty well covered already. We're only on the end of lap 7 here, only completing the first 5th this race. And the track already all over the place in terms of these cars. It's still a close race up front, but those who are not up front and those who are struggling really are struggling, and quite a long way off the back. And that's the main thing that these leaders have got to contend with. That's what's going to shape the race. These 3 up front and those few behind as well, trying to catch up.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've got groups, haven't we? We've got Carl Gretsch, Justin Hazlitt, Chad Bears even dropping off slowly here as well. And then you can see from 12th, 13th, 14th, running round the inner loop there as well, with James Lawson, Ward Fisher, Jaden Henry. Brad Kress is coming back as well after his incident earlier on, right at the beginning of the race. And you've got,
oh no!
I was just about to mention Brian Cooper, and I think he's done what 3 other drivers have done in front of him. Over the curb he goes. He hit the curb at the beginning, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that was the difference. The others just dropped it on the power. Cooper was right on the curb there, which kind of helped. And maybe it was a bit of too much power as well, but kind of helped up on the curb there. What's going on here? Kress has got the 084 right down his inside here in the 9 car. And he's side by side towards turn 2. Might have even been a 3 wide moment on the front straight there briefly.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Brad Kress was just trying to pass these guys as well. As he's coming down here, we can have a look back at this one now.
Right.
Not quite, no, I don't think so. No, they all kind of sort of... It's really weird looking at that picture, because it looks like they are all just gingerly pottering around. It looks like nobody's got the confidence within the car. You know, it just reminds me of like they're almost Bambi on ice. They just look like I do ice skating, I suppose, going out there holding onto the rails and just trying to get me confidence, you know what I mean? And that's what it looks like here from certain people here tonight.
And that's what it's like to drive a stock car on a road course, and that's what's the beauty of the challenge of it. That's why I do think it has a place on a schedule like this, because it is such a different challenge. You know, there is a point where you can overkill it, as we've already talked about in qualifying, but in terms of a challenge for one round of a season, and this is the only road course round, by the way, of the Xfinity Series this season, what a great challenge it is, and what a different skill set it is to have to display as well. Someone's off in front of the leaders here, and this is going to be a problem for Carl Gretsch. There is Fisher in the red car, and Lawson in the 68 letting everybody through here. Gretsch and Hazlitt are going to get through here quite nicely. Bear quite so easily. Wonder what happened down here towards...
I think they had a moment,
there. The leader's already a long way behind. Fisher locks up the brakes. Lawson tries to avoid being hit up the rear, and they both end up off.
Yeah, they kind of followed me leader, that tunnel vision that you can get as well. And they seem to have done the same thing there with Carl Gretsch, Justin Hazlitt, Chad Bear. Austin Rice is here as well. He's got Will Jester in front of him currently at this moment in time. Looks like Ward Fisher may have had another moment here. Unfortunately for Ward Fisher, doesn't seem to be having what can be described as probably the greatest evening.
Yeah, I think that can be the case. 14 on the lead up then after 6 already put a lap down, and Cooper looks to be out of the race, unfortunately, at this early on in the Thumbsticks 35, so that is a shame. Justin Rice now on the back of the 74 car, 9th in the field, already over half a minute of Gretsch in the lead of this race. Even he is going to be lapped Well, there's going to be less than 10 on the lead lap by the end of this.
Yeah, that is the prediction here as well. And it looks like Al Corey has also had his own little moment coming down into turn one. Turn one seems to be the problem, and with that inner loop as well, and around he's going to go. He did manage to keep hold of it though, but he was already on the brakes there once he'd seen it start sliding as well, Ewan. You know, at the end of the day, it is so tough when you've come from predominantly going left to coming onto a road. Is this practice? Do we think this is the lack of, or do we think that it's just some of these drivers are just not used to driving a road circuit?
Some of it's practice, some of it's experience. You can practice all you want at something you've never done before, but you're just never going to be as good at someone who has done it for a lot longer. And that goes for anything, doesn't it, really? You can apply it to this. If you don't have the experience built up, even if you practice, you're not going to be as good. So it's probably both. But I don't think for many of these guys it's a lack of practice. I think but for many of who are struggling, it's a lack of experience, and it takes time to build up. Having it on the schedule like this and having more road courses on stock car schedules will increase that level and give people more experience, but you can only get experience by doing it. And so that's the tricky part for these guys. It's especially discouraging, I should say, for those guys who are trying to get experience as well. If you're in the rookie class, very difficult to get any stock car road course experience when you're so low down in the licensing. Can't really do it. To be honest, you could do street stocks, I suppose, but that's ovals as well. You've got to do the Mazdas and not go through all that kind of thing, which bears no relation to stock cars at all, which is what makes it sort of discouraging to go and do.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? And they don't give you a stock car as they go for it. The only way you can generally do a stock car is obviously under maintenance, where you can test any cars. I don't even know if they're within the AI setup at the moment here as well. So you could do it. I suppose you could probably. Can you set up an AI? I think you can probably set up an AI, can't you? Or take a drive, in the session that's set up by the league to go and have a practice. I don't know.
When I was practicing for the Gen 4 race at Watkins, I can keep going back to that. I raced against the AI once or twice just to see how everything will work. So yeah, it is possible. By the way, Carl Gretsch has had problems here because he's lost the lead, and not only that, he's 2.5 seconds adrift of the lead. So something big has gone on in the lead here, and someone's off the road in front of him there. It's very close for 1 and 2 as well right now. They're absolutely nose to tail around the outer loop.
Yeah, I am literally on the hunt for why or where that happened, and there's the first one there.
Oh, there's a side there. So let's let go side by side. This is a good battle for the lead here. The top of the hill through 2 and 3. Hazlitt gets down the inside and goes through. He grabs the wall. Wow. So a good battle, and I don't think Hazlitt fed him in the wall, but Gretsch was just pushing as hard as possible, and he looks to be out of whack there. I think the steering's out of whack there. I mean, and it's straight in a stock car anyway. It's always a bit odd. I reckon he's out of whack slightly, and that car's got damage.
Yeah, I think that's why he's probably struggling as much as he can. That was a great shot of him coming up over the hill there as well, sliding the car through. Yeah, he's not straight. Probably 5 degrees to the left, if not a little bit more, to be honest. But Chad Bear now with Justin Hazlitt out in front. So there you go, Matt. That is exactly what happened to him here as well, just as we were focusing on people further down. Justin Hazlitt and Chad Bear battling around that inner loop, off to the penultimate corner, and there is Carl Gretsch in the background. 22 to go here as well at Watkins Glen, and it is Justin Hazlitt out in front with Chad Bear, Carl Gretsch in third, Sean Bradley fourth, Ben Arkham fifth, Matt Herzog sixth. Then you've got JC John Campbell, Matt Harmon, Will Jester and Aston Rice. They are the top 10 currently here, battling it out as well. Chad Bear trying to get hold of Hazlitt in front. Is he going to be able to make it down into turn one? We've got John Crutchley there as well on the right hand side. Yeah. I'll let him through. Oh no!
Oh
Whoa!
no! Oh dear! Oh, and big hit there for the 48 car. Crutchley, sure who was in the middle of the road, didn't catch the number,
That
but
Al
Crutchley
Corey.
went and smashed into him.
I think it was Al Corey.
Oh dear, that's going to be an interesting discussion afterwards. Crutchley's gone back to the pit lane.
Yeah.
What happened to Corey Anissi? He's gone in quite hot there, hasn't he? That's
Yeah.
immediately apparent. Just spun around. He's locked it up. He's been hit once already. Tries to get back going again. Realises his mistake in rejoining that way. But unfortunately realises too late and gets smashed by Crutchley.
I don't think Crutchley saw much of it, did he? Let's be real.
No, I mean, the leaders were, going past him already, and then it was unsighted slightly, so, yeah.
Oh.
But also, and if you can see it, difference between reaction time and having enough time to move out the way is very different things.
Yeah. There was no chance of him trying to avoid that, especially with the move of Crutchley as well. You know, if Crutchley might have stayed where he is, he might have been able to get round, or Corey might have gone. But if Corey stayed where he is, Crutchley might be able to have gone around the outside. But with him moving, there was just no hope that was ever going to happen. And now we've got Ward Fisher in, Al Corey in, John Crutchley in, Cooper is out, Benson, Lawson, Parker and Henry are already lapsed down here, as I've just nearly had my chair break and nearly ended up on my floor. So there we go. And Hazlitt and Bear out in front with Carl Gretsch battling away as well. Aston Rice is still behind Will Jester here and has been now as well, but he's Aston has gained 7 places. So has Grant Parker there once more. So there are still a little bit of a battle, as it looks like Chad Bear might be having a go at Justin Hazlitt here.
Been trying to have a go for quite some time at the moment, and it's just brewing away, this battle, as they're getting up to the 9 car of Brad Kress, who's still soldiering on after that incident early on. He's not actually that much slower than these guys, but nearly a lap down now, so he's going to be pretty difficult to pass once these two get there. That'll be interesting, but then they've got a long bit of free track space in front of them right now, so can really sort of buy into that and push on. Fisher has come into the pit lane, interestingly, by the way, and he's come out back 2 laps down, so Benson is now back up to 16th. But Matt Perosini, by the way, is having a field day, the fact that Al Curry is involved in that incident.
I've seen it in YouTube chat as well. I'm not saying it, but there you go. I was waiting.
Resist.
Yeah, I know. He was never going to resist coming back out. He's the one that named Al Killer Corey. So there you go. Aston Rice did manage to get past Will Jester. That's just taken place there as well. So great move from him. Made the best of a bad opportunity and went through there once more. Hazlitt still with Bear. Gretsch is losing a lot of time. Would you have got in by now with the pace that Carl Gretsch has got?
I think it might be worth the stop in this race, maybe for Carl. I don't really know if the tyres are going to be too much of a factor around here. I remember in Gen 4 once again, it was really important to stop halfway and change tyres. So we're approaching halfway now. Wonder, especially because of the damage, whether it might be worth a stop for Carl. And he is in with 18 to go. He's in. Oh, he's got to be careful of speeding. Might have sped there, you know. He was locked up a long way after the line. He might have sped.
Well, we'll find out and have a look and see how long his pit stop time seems to be, around about 46 seconds. That was the last one from Brad Kress here as well. So let's see what happens here. It's Carl Gretsch, Chad Bear and Justin Hazlitt. Even if Gretsch uses his fast repair, gets his steering sorted out, he's got the pace, hasn't he, to keep up with these guys. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a hardship if he's pitted and comes out, because I think he probably can make a lot of positions back here, as there are a lot of drivers in front struggling as the leaders are onto the back end now as well. That's also a back marker in front of these guys currently at the moment. Kress is there, isn't he, as well? And Hazlitt and Bear are seeming to have to go at it. Bear, is he going to be able to make it through at all? Is he going to make? Is he going to take advantage of the back marker, blocking him in with the back marker here, Ewan?
Might well do, if indeed they both stay out here, because we are on the halfway mark of this race right now. They both stay out, so maybe it's going to be a no stop for these two. But a good run from Bear in towards turn 1. Brad Kress didn't really get in the way of them. He was actually very nice and got out of the way. But Bear's not willing to
risk any move at this stage, and Hazlitt will still lead.
Yeah, as they're going off round turn 1 now before they go running up through Bear's got that back end sliding in these cars here, and it just seems a very difficult task of driving these machines on road circuits with the power that they have got. Of course, through the bus stop we go now. Chad Bear and Justin Hazlitt. Hazlitt's managing to hold on to the front end. Bear has just got nowhere through. He's either got nowhere through or he hasn't got the pace. What do we think here? Is it a pace issue, or do we think he's just got nowhere to go?
Well, I think it's I think it's a bit of both at the moment. I think he does have a little bit in the bag here, and I think he might be able to push a little bit harder for the win here if indeed it was a bit later in the race. But it's just exercising a bit of caution at the moment, making sure that he doesn't get involved in anything silly. And on some laps, Hazlitt is quicker, so there's not too much point in going through, because he might get overtaken again. I think in the last 10 laps or so, we're really going to start to see this ramp up between these two, because time will be eventually running out.
Carl Gretsch is back out on track now as well after his pit stop. His pit stop was only 47 seconds, so maybe he did avoid a penalty there as well, because you probably would have added a 40-second stop and hold on top of that. So Carl Gretsch did avoid the penalty. Now I'm expecting him to start setting pace here as well. He was in the lead, he's been quick, and I think he's going to come through. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him within that top 3 again within about, I don't know, I'm going to say 8 laps, roughly 8 laps, I think.
Well, let's see what his lap time is here, because this will give us a good indication of how much he's going to gain a lap. A new personal best for him, a 13.8. That last lap was 2.8 seconds quicker than John Campbell. Was 1.9 seconds quicker than Sean Bradley, who's currently hanging on to that final 3 spots. So 2 seconds a lap for 16 laps is only 32 seconds. That's not enough at the moment to catch Bradley.
Just Bradley's 32 seconds. He's just
arrived there on the last lap, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So maybe he can get that 3rd place once again. Chad Bear is in the pits.
Oh, that's a surprise. Thought they were going to continue on without stopping here, these two out front, but clearly decided to pit in. And if they're losing that amount of time, 2 seconds a lap, then Gretsch could be right on them maybe even ahead of them by the time this pit stop's made.
Yeah. I think tyres are becoming more of an issue than what was expected, I think, as well. You know, it's just the power distribution through the tyres is always going to cause a problem. And I think Carl Gretsch is going to get Chad Bear here. Chad's at the front of his box. He's on his way out. There is Gretsch now coming down the start line. This is going to be really, really close. I think they're going to be coming out relatively side by side. There's Chad Bear. There's Carl Gretsch. He is just in the background there, but he isn't too far away at all.
No, he isn't. Now, what does Hazlitt do? Does he nurse his tyres to the end here, or decide to come in? Because I reckon if indeed those tyres are going to last all the way home, I think he can make it with seconds to spare out front here, and I think he can still win this race. I think Bear and are going to struggle to get onto the podium, although Bear can. I think they can maybe catch Harkham. They put a lap on Al Curry, re-lap him if you like, to their stop. And you can see the pace difference as well. Hazlitt's in, though. He had to respond.
Yeah, he has come in to get some boots on there as well. Carl Gretsch is going to make short work of John Campbell before they've even got into the penultimates, and he has here again once more. We'll keep an eye where Justin Hazlitt is and where Chad Bear is. Chad's on his way round the final corner now. Once again, Hazlitt still stationary in the pits. He's got to be looking at trying to get out once more. There's Chad Bear. Is he going to be able to make it through? Hazlitt is moving now as well. There was an incident at the back of the grid there as well, and it is going to be really close with Hazlitt and Bear. They've come out not very far apart. Gretsch is only 3 seconds down the road here as well, Ewan, and he's got pace to be able to catch up to these guys. So we could be in for a great freeway fight by the time we get into the last 10.
We could, and I think with the fact that they've all pitted here, they might well be able to catch Sean Bradley for the win in this race. There is a fight for second also going on right now as Gretsch is looking to put a lap on someone there. Here it is, Harkham and Herzog for second place. Are these guys going to brave it out to the end Without pitting, you wonder it might be worth the risk.
Yeah, it might be. No. Harcum's going to make his way in here and into the yellow. Herzog's going to carry on. Sean Bradley here as well. He's also carried on once more. Now we've got Hazlitt and Bear back together. Don't think they have enough fuel not to have a stop at least once, says Matt Perezzini in YouTube chat there.
Well, maybe they'll... Surprises me that why they haven't just split this in half then in that case. Because surely you would... surely you would just split the race in half if you... Well, I know you can't split 35 quite in half, but you get the point. Tyres are clearly very important for your lap speed. Losing about 2 seconds a lap compared to, even with 20 lap old tyres. So that does surprise me why they've not split it in half.
Well, that will be a question in an interview after, of course, here as well. As let's be honest, you and me really do not know why that did not take place. But Chad Bear has put a lap there as well. I think that might be Will Jester we've just gone past. Here, Hazlitt got a little bit held up. He's trying to now go and catch Bear again. He's lost 1.1 second in that little exchange. I am surprised by Carl Gretsch not being able to close a gap. He's actually losing time more than closing a gap here. He's now 6 seconds away from Justin Hazlitt, and that has surprised me here as well, because I thought once he'd got in, use his fast repair, get that car fixed, I thought he was going to be right on the pace.
Yeah, I think he's just lost a bit of that time earlier on and really able to win that back. Oh, that was a big slide for Hazlitt. Starting to lose his way slightly here as Bradley has come in from the lead. It does look like Matt Perezzini is right, and you're going to see everybody pit here, at least for fuel, probably for tyres as well. But that was a big slide from Hazlitt as he tries to chase down Chad Bear, and these three leaders are starting to get very spread out indeed as a result of the pit stop partly, but also that we're getting into the final third of this race now.
Yeah, John Crutchley, whatever he has done, he done it big. Coming down here as well into turn one. He's over on the pit side wall, comes out, takes his spot. Nothing. Oh,
too quick.
I agree.
Oh, he managed to miss his braking point by quite so. I guess he was on the wrong side of the road, wasn't he? And his markers were all side, but I don't know why he was on that side of the road because there was no one alongside him.
Can't answer that question. I would ask him that question, but he's not in a voice chat for me to ask him that question, unfortunately, as well. So, unfortunately, I can't drag Al in because he is still sitting there for 2 minutes, well, 3 minutes now as well. Herzog's into the pits. That's allowed Gretsch, Hazlitt and Bear. Your 1, 2, 3 as we were at the beginning of the race, but it was in the other way. Of course, it was Gretsch, Hazlitt, then Bear. Bear's taking his time here. He's made the best of the situation, and he now seems to be holding on to that front position. Herzog here as well has come out of the pits. I think that is Harcum right next to him. It is here. So Harcum and Herzog are going to go at it over the last 11 laps. Both of them have pitted here as well. Harcum 2 laps before Herzog, of course, but now they're going to be going neck and neck on that run up that back straight into the bus stop. Is Herzog going to be looking at making a move? We've not seen anyone make a move into the bus stop in these cars, not in anger anyway. We've seen them go sideways, we've seen them go well, generally sideways and spinning here, Ewan, but nobody's made a move and tried to go too wide through there.
No, not really, and that's probably for the best as well. It's difficult to go side by side through there, so you've got to be very wary of that and make sure that you keep things calm and clean there, mainly because it's very tricky to manage. Dog is being all over the back of Ben Harcum at the moment. And by the way, Harcum is one of only 4 drivers up to this point in the opening 2 races who has finished on the lead lap in both of the races so far. And it looks like he's on course to do that again, along with Sean Bradley, who is another one of those drivers. Herzog runs his way down the inside of Harcum now. Should be in 6th place very soon and will be with that pass.
Yeah, he has managed to make his way through there as well. Don't forget today's sponsor here, guys, is Mr. Tyler Thumbstick Merritt, who has just joined us in YouTube chat. He took a nap and didn't wake up in time.
An hour later than planned.
Yes.
We've all been there.
Yeah, but mate, I can tell you we've been there as well, haven't I? I've been there personally. Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I was supposed to be in the broadcast at 1 a.m. So there we go. But it happens to the best of us, dear sir. So don't you worry. But thank you for sponsoring today's race here as well, as we're still battling on for the Thumbsticks 35 with 9 to go, and Chad Bear's opening up a bit of a gap here, 1.2 nearly seconds over Justin Hazlitt, who's got nearly 9 seconds over Gretsch. Gretsch is just leaking time like a leaky tap in a old house here as well. And Aston Rice and Matt Harmon are now going at it once again here as well. So great race. There's still some racing taking place. We're not completely spread out where we've got nothing going on here.
There's still plenty of interest in this one at the moment, and still an unsettled battle for the race lead, although Carl Gretsch is not involved within it at the moment. He'll be third at the end of the day by the looks of things. That'll be a disappointment for him, but which is the way that these races go on occasion. He is had the right look, I guess, and unfortunately grabbed the wall as well at the top of the hill, turn 3, which has unfortunately put paid to his chances here today. But don't really know who's going to win out the top 2. It's going to be between those two, but who it is remains a mystery as of right now. We'll see if that can take the only Ford in the race maybe to a victory here tonight.
Yeah, maybe. He seems to be now coming back at Bear here as well. Hanlon looks like he's had a big moment and has unfortunately had to jump back to the pits there. I don't know if he's had that moment before there, but it looks like he's either run out of fuel or he's... Maybe fuel, yeah. I'm starting to wonder whether or not that was fuel. He's had to jump back to the pits. Al Corey's been off track. Grant Parker and Matt Harmon also here as well. Will Jester, that is JC John Campbell in front of us currently at the moment. JC is a lap ahead of Will as well. We've only got Brad Kress, I believe, is just about surviving being on the lead lap. We did say 10, Ewan, and we've got 8 to go, and we've only got 10 on the lead lap.
Exactly. And I reckon it could go down to 9 with Kress, the latter portion of this here. So it just shows the split in the field, doesn't it, really? There's a big split for the top 10 and the bottom 10, if you like. Brian Cooper obviously not part of this race anymore. I do believe that Brutsley and Fisher will try and finish this race if indeed their cars are repaired in time, but he's been in there for 8 minutes now. He used his fast repair. He's going to hope that the next 8 minutes he can get back out there again. So yeah, it really shows the difference in ability of the top 10. But there's Fisher. That's going to take quite a while to repair.
That looked very bizarre. Did he just plant it? Did he just...
That's weird. Not sure there's not a technical problem going on there.
Yeah, I think maybe for Ward Fisher that might have been the issue here as well. And unfortunately, we've got possibly another retiree. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back out after that one. Matt Harmon and Aston Rice still fighting it out up through the yeses. This is the battle for 8th and 9th place here on the screen currently at the moment. So nice little battle from these guys. 6 to go here, and we've still got Chad Bear 1.5 seconds out in front. He's eking out time very, very slowly at the moment, isn't he? He's taking out little bits on little bits. You know, 1:13.9 last time out for Chad Bear. Hazlitt on a 1:14.3. So he's taken out nearly 4 tenths out of him. So I think it's going to could be quite tough to see if Hazlitt can actually get this victory, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to even get on terms here. I think that we're going to have to go back to when looking back on this race is certainly the pit stop phase, and Chad Bear pitting one lap before that has really changed the course of the race. It got him out ahead. Ever since then, been keeping him arm's length, really, as Chad Bear. So, been doing a good job. It's not over. Still traffic to contend with. Catching Cress, as I mentioned, they're also more pressingly catching Parker, the 43. That's going to be had to be negotiated. Lawson, they're probably going to get to as well before the end, down in 17th place. So, going to be a tricky ending to the race for these drivers. Indeed, they are to catch some more lap cars. Maybe that will be the difference in the end.
Yeah, well, we've got 10th place in front of us as well. You can see Brad Cress going up through the S's here as well. There he is. The leaders are just starting their ascent, shall we say, up through the S's. Hazlitt and Chad Bear there as well. So maybe 10th place, Brad Cress might be under the next one to go a lap down. I know we've got Grant Parker who's just going around the inner loop now, so it's possible they might get to him, but they might also end up being involved in this battle. But there's only 5 to go, so it would be a big ask if they could get up to these guys in 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th.
They're not going to manage that, I don't think. These guys are still pretty quick inside the top 10. So there's a big split because 12th place, 2 laps down, whereas Brad Cress in 10th is still on the lead lap. That shows you what the difference is and where the difference really lies. Although, to be fair to Benson, he did have that spin on lap 1, 42, and that's probably not helped him. But I'd imagine these two are going to finish on the lead lap. In what order remains to be seen, but Ben Harkham is going to be also one of those on the lead lap, along with Bradley as well. Those two are going to be the only two drivers to have finished on the lead lap of every race so far this season, if things stay as they are.
And there you go, 4 to go here as well. Harmon in 8th, Rice in 9th. Rice looks like he wants that position. Let's hope it's just... he's just lost a little bit of time through the bus stop, did Rice there as well. But Harmon looks like he's gone in deep through the inner loop before we go off now as well. Into the penultimate corner before we go on to the start-finish straight once more. Aston Rice, Matt Harmon still scrapping it out here. The closest battle on track at the moment. It's definitely been a race of nutrition, isn't it? It's been a race of just making sure you can hit your braking markers, making sure you can get the car to go around the corner without spinning the back end. And that's basically been it today. That's been literally the story of today's race.
That has been the story, and that's road course racing. It's attritional, it's difficult, staying out of trouble. It's also about having the speed. There's no cautions to catch up. There's no strategy that you can really pull to get ahead, get a step ahead. So the strategy, is, ironically, has played a big role in the race winner here. It's what road course racing is like. It's always great to have at least one on every schedule for the Xfinity series. So I'm glad that we've here to Watkins Glen and had a good race as well. Looks like battle for the race win is being settled as we speak, with the gap 2 1/3 seconds now.
Yeah, he has been eking it out as well. Last time out, 1:14.59, 1:14.52 for Hazlitt. So it's 2.5 seconds though.
There's a bit of traffic here. There's 3 cars directly in front of them at the moment. So this is the last chance for Hazlitt. If you're Hazlitt here, you've got to make use of these last 2 laps. These 3 cars that they're going to have to pass.
There they are. Looks like first one's going to be coming up here as well. Was that John Campbell? No, it wasn't John Campbell. I thought somebody there as well looked very similar to him as well. It's actually Grant Parker in front of us for Chad Bear at the moment as well. So Bear's got to deal with Grant Parker with 2 to go. Parker's made it easy as pie there. Now what about Lawson? What's Lawson going to do? Is Hazlitt going to be able to clear Parker with the same ease that it was for Bear? And no.
Not quite. He's not being held up, I don't think, because Parker's actually done a good job up the hill here. So Hazlitt's going to get through pretty easy, and then the 2 of them are going to pull out the way of Hazlitt now. So probably gained a 10th or 2 there, but it's really, it's barely anything. And the only one left now is Brad Cress, who might not actually be caught. He might just be quick enough to down the lead lap.
Yeah, it might be as well for Chris. I don't think he is caught. Aston Rice and Matt Harmon still going at each other as well. Round the penultimate corner before we get this literally nearly done here with 2 to go. It's one more lap. Poor old Aston Rice is going to be sitting there thinking, I've been stuck here for ages now. I've got to get it. We've only got one and one more. Surely I can get Matt Harmon if he comes over the start-finish line down into turn 1. What's Rice going to be able to do this time around? Absolutely nothing apart from get the car stopped. Oh, Harmon's got in a little bit deep. They're going to be running too wide. Are they? Oh, that surely had to be his opportunity.
It probably was, but not taking it, and I think that's where he'll be finishing. Although the white flag's been thrown, to be fair, he'll have another lap after this one because they're so far behind the leader. So this is another chance for Rice. It's not the last lap for them. Maybe that's what was in his mind there, but he's going to be sick of staring at the back of the car in front now, and he's really got to do it now or never.
He's going to have one more go, one more lap here as well as your leader Chad Baird does come around that inner loop right behind. He's not too far behind you. Catch him, nearly catch him in the background here as well. But Rice and Harmon still going for it as well. Here we go once more, but it is, Harmon's gone off. He's come back onto the track. Is he going to be able to hold him off? Round they go, too wide. Harmon's all over the place here as well, and it looks like Rice has gone through. But here comes Chad Baird. He's going to take this victory at Watkins Glen here this evening with Hazlitt in second place coming over the line there as well. Great job from them two guys here with Carl Gretsch coming over in third place there. He did get the third place that I thought he was going to get it as well, but the pit stops played a massive part in that.
I think he was a bit deflated really after the pit stops and after the contact, and realising that he was up against it in terms of improving his position. His pace just went out a little bit as a result of that, rather than a reflection of where he's actually going. So third place, still not a bad result, but he was probably hoping for a little bit more at the start of the day.
Yeah, definitely was, and he had the pace at the start of the day as well. Oh, Harmon! Oh! He kept it out the wall there. That was a save and a half from Matt Harmon. Had looked very raggedy this last lap as well. He was trying his hardest to stay in front of Aston Rice. I think his tyres are shot at this point.
There they are.
Aren't they?
His tyres are finished, that's why. Oh, Rice slowing down. Out of fuel. Rice must be out of fuel, and he's lost 8th place. And Cress might well get 8th at the end. He doesn't quite do it. Harmon hangs on to 8th. Aston Rice, after all that work to get through, has run out of fuel.
He hasn't pitted. I haven't got him as pitted, though. I haven't got Matt Harmon as pitted either, or John Campbell.
Maybe they've been saving a bit. Clearly, Rice hasn't saved enough.
No. Crest did get him as well. Rice did finish in 10th there. Bit of drama at the end here as well as Chad Baird with the customary donuts out. Burnout, sorry, I should say, on the start-finish line there as well. Let's bring you up the race results as we enjoy the smoke from Chad Baird there as well. He is your winner with Justin Hazlitt in second, Carl Gretsch in third, Sean Bradley fourth, Mark Herzog in fifth with John Campbell sixth, and Ben Harcombe in seventh, who there as well. Matt Harmon in 8th with Brad Cress in 9th. Aston Rice comes over the line in 10th, just about there, with Will Jester in 11th. Jason Benson in 12th. Al Corey 13th. Grant Parker 14th. Jaden Henry 15th. Keith Hanlon 16th. James Lawson 17th. And Ward Fisher is in 18th place. Then you've got John Crutchley and Brian Cooper there as well. So let's see if we can have a chat with Chad Baird. We'll pop him in there first before I pull him in, just so he is aware that he is coming in to the booth here as well. And let's see what they've got to say here, Ewan, for this victory. And we can start off, let's go 3-1, and we'll start off with Carl Gretsch here this evening as well into the booth with us. Carl, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had a ton of fun tonight.
Was it the race that you expected?
Oh yeah, I got the Make-A-Wish call to come run with the with the Chad and Justin show, and they let me lead a couple laps, and then they promptly kicked my butt.
Do you think you had the pace though?
No, I was gonna lose throughout the rest of the run. I've done so many of these races with Chad, specifically. I've not run with Justin all that much, but I know he's really good. But Chad always, just any road course race in these old cars will destroy me on a long run.
Okay. You had the lead at one point, and then you grabbed the wall up through the S's there, buddy. What was that about? What happened? Too far over?
Yeah, I told Justin, he was like, did I do anything wrong there? And I was like, nope, I was just being a butthole. I was trying to hang around the outside and make it interesting for the broadcast, knowing if I stayed in front of him for a couple laps, I would have led at least 2 more laps. But, yep, nope, got a little too wide. Banking kind of drops away at that point, so back into the car, caught the wall, spun me sideways.
Yeah, and what is the story with Ben Harcum's face on your rear end?
So there's a thing that we were talking about doing, and we were like, that'd be funny, which we'll keep quiet about. And then what came out of that was Ben's face. I had 2 pictures of Ben's face, and I used to do like graphic design classes in high school. So we would do tessellations. It's like a common thing. So you just take something, multiple pictures, put it over. So I made a tessellation out of his face, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I thought it'd be funny to put him on the back bumper of my car.
Well, it definitely looks good there, sir, as well. Carl, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy, as well. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel, Sexy Wall Trip. Always streaming all these races, including this one. And then, yeah, shout out to League as always. We've got road stuff on Fridays. If anybody here doesn't want to run stock cars, you can go run some cars with actual brakes and downforce and good suspension.
Ones that stop when you press the brake pedal. Is that what you're implying, Kyle?
Oh yeah, no, but these are so fun. Anybody who doesn't like running these need to check their opinion.
Don't watch the broadcast then, because I think I might need to check my opinion.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right, bud. Have a good one, mate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Peace.
Right, now we're going to have a chat with Justin Haslett, who finished in 2nd place here as well. Justin, welcome into the booth, dear sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm not bad, mate. Not bad at all. Thank you very much. I've just watched a very interesting racing there as well. For you guys at the front, you and Chad having a little bit of a ding-dong for pretty much most of it. We had Carl involved in the early run-in here as well. How was that? How was the race overall for you here this evening?
Oh, it was real fun. Chad had some pretty strong pace, really consistent pace. It definitely had a little bit more in the beginning. That could have just been him saving. But once he did a little bit of an undercut, got out in front of me a little bit. I had the pace to stick with him, and I made 1 or 2 mistakes that he didn't make any, and I made 2. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, mistakes were aplenty throughout the field, mind you, as well. We were talking about the pit stop strategy here. How far did you actually think you were going to be able to get on the fuel load that you had? Because we've had people who haven't actually pitted. Unfortunately for Aston Rice, he ran out just before he got across the line there as well. Did you think you could make it all the way through?
I don't know. I was running the rev limiter pretty hard on a couple of entries, so I would have had to started saving from the beginning. I think I was going to run out on probably lap 33, but I think you needed the tires. Honestly, going 35 laps on that one set of tires would have been very, very rough. It would not have been fun.
Yeah, we did discuss that as well. We did say that tires would be a big issue here, and it turned out that it probably was there for some of them as well. But overall, you've had a great evening of racing, 2nd place there as well. Great job from you. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, of course, here this evening?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody over at On Edge Racing. And really, the last time I forgot to say, I thank my mom as well.
Ooh, yes. Okay, buddy. Well, thank you so much, Justin. I hope you have a good one there, fella. And we'll look at catching up with you soon, no doubt.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Right, now let's pull the winner into the booth as well. He was very sneaky at the beginning, was old Chad Berry. Just sat in third place and allowed Kyle Gretsch and Justin Hazlitt to go fighting it out. And then when his moment come, he struck and he took that victory away here as well. Pulled a pit master stroke. Chad, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties there.
No, that's all right, mate. No worries at all. You took the victory, first of all. Congratulations for that one.
Thank you. That was exciting, man. I love road course racing. I wish that it was as popular in the NASCAR circles as Daytona and Talladega racing is, because I don't know, I get a lot more out of the road course stuff myself anyway. But that was a fun race though with Justin and Kyle. I hated to see Kyle get him and Justin got together and he got some damage and had to do a pit stop extra early and kind of lost touch with us. But it was fun racing Justin all the way through it though. He made it honest for me. I really had to work hard to beat him.
Yeah, it was an interesting fight at the beginning there as well. You just seemed to be holding station, though, in third place, Chad. You didn't seem to have, or looked like you had intentions to try and get past Justin or past Kyle. Obviously, when the mistakes were happening, with Kyle grabbing the wall, and, that was only then that you made your incident. Was that on purpose, just to sit there and watch them two fight out up front beforehand?
Yeah, really, at the start of the race, I thought my strategy was going to be maybe to pit with 3 laps to go. And so I was thinking I was going to try to take it as easy as possible to have tire lift at the end of the race. But we chewed up the tires so bad that we were going to be so slow at the end of the run that I just bailed on that strategy and pitted with 15 or 16 to go or whatever. And it just worked out. I pitted a lap before Justin, and that was really the difference. I don't know if he would have come back out in front of me by a second or two, I don't know that I could have got back by him. We were so even. It would have been hard for us to really pass each other, I think.
Yeah, I've got to agree as well. I was expecting Kyle to come back at you because he was only a couple of seconds back behind you going after the pit stop cycle there, but didn't unfortunately manage to get the closure that probably Kyle wanted. But a great victory for you, Chad. Well done here this evening. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just again, thank my good buddy Brad Chris for the awesome paint scheme, the Robbie Gordon special. And thanks to my work for not calling me in the middle of the race like they love to do. Like I thought for sure I wasn't going to get to finish the whole race. So, yeah, thanks to Brad and thanks to the railroad. And thanks to you all, man. You all put on a great broadcast. I can't wait to go watch it back.
Awesome stuff. Well, cheers, fella. Thank you very much for that one. And congrats again there, buddy. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Ewan. 3 happy drivers, would you say, for that one? Even Kyle didn't sound too downbeat about his evening of racing.
Yeah, he's almost accepting what happened really during that one for him, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I mean, there's 3 pretty upbeat drivers, and that's what we like to hear. Clearly enjoying road course racing, and as I say, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a road course race in this schedule. I mean, you can certainly go overboard with it, but we certainly haven't this season. It's been good to come to Watkins Glen in the Xfinity series tonight.
It definitely has. Mookie's in the YouTube chat there as well. Our killer Corey strikes at it again. Oh dear. What have you done, Matt? You are literally labelled Al for life here as well within the Triple Bypass League. Well, that's it, guys. That's going to bring it to the end here as well. Don't forget, if you do want to get yourself involved, please go and check out triplebypassracing.com there as well. 5 nights of racing here on your screen, as you can see. Gen 4s on Sunday, late models Tuesday, road racing Wednesday, Xfinity's on Thursday, and a GTP GT3 on Fridays. So get yourself involved on that one, triplebypassracing.com. And a big shout out to to our sponsor, Tyler Merritt, who slept through the race, unfortunately. Didn't make it here this evening, unfortunately for him. But thank you, much love to Tyler for sponsoring this evening's race. Well, that's going to bring it all to an end here, guys, as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. Much love, Matt, who's come into the booth, and Tyler, who popped himself in earlier on as well. So, thank you so much for that one. But I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Ewan O'Leary. But as always, guys, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.